We're going to take a look at some of the first steps in putting this design to the ground. Now, this plan was created for a yard with an already existing lawn and landscape, so what that means is that we'll have to cut all the lawn and grass out of these areas to make room for our beds and borders. And a few weeks before we get here to cut this out, we will spray these areas with an herbicide. We're going to be taking a few inches off the top, a few inches of soil and grass. However, the roots go much deeper than that, and so the best way to address that would be come in and spray these areas with an herbicide and give it a few weeks to work. So once we're ready, I'll come in and mark the entire area and put the entire design on the ground, and that way we can see it and make sure it's all in proportion and that everything is where we want it to be and that we don't want any alterations. And so then it also gives us a guideline to follow when we do start to take all of this out. So once we're happy with everything, we'll bring in a machine called a sod cutter, and just like the name says, it's designed to cut a few inches of the sod off the surface. Sod cutters, you can generally rent one at a local rent center, and they do come in smaller and larger sizes. This one is actually a larger one. It has an 18-inch cutting blade, and it's all-wheel drive. If you can, from your rental center, if they do offer a smaller or a larger machine, do get the larger machine. The smaller ones, because you'll be tempted to get a smaller one because they are lighter and smaller, but just for that same reason, they don't work well. They don't get any traction, and what'll happen is they'll work you even harder. You'll have to push your way through the sod with those, and a larger machine like this simply just pulls you right through, with your job mainly being just to guide it along. They're simple to operate, and they have just a few controls. They're easy to get used to. So anyway, if you can, get the larger sod cutter, if you have the opportunity. So in this picture, what we're doing is just cutting along the line that I have marked out. And what we'll do is we'll come along and just mark this entire border area out first, and then we'll cut as much of the interior as we can. And then, of course, there'll be corners and such that you'll have a little bit of cleanup to do, but not much. So once we've cut all of that out, the sod simply rolls up in strips like this, which makes it really easy work. Now, you want to have a little bit of moisture in the soil. That makes it hold together better. If the soil's completely dry, everything just crumbles, and you'll end up more or less just having to shovel all of this out of here. But if you have a little bit of moisture in the soil and not too soggy, you don't want it soggy, it'll roll up in strips like this, and then you can simply roll it up and haul it away, or make compost out of it, or do whatever. Anyway, so the sod cutters have a variable cut depth, generally from 1 to 3 inches, and we like to get a couple of inches on this to give us room for any ground cover that we're going to put in there. And like I said, you just simply, as you can see in this picture, we have it all rolled up, and we'll haul it away, put it on the trailer, and get rid of it. And then once we get to this point, you can see this is where I had the line marked out earlier in the plan, which is right in here in this area. You can see, other than just a little bit of raking, that the area is pretty much ready for us to work on. And looking back the other direction of the same area, which goes around the curve here of the home, you can see what a great job that the sod cutter did in cutting that perfect line that I had drawn out, which makes it such easy work for getting things the way you want them to be. So at this point, we're ready to put in our borders, which in this plan we're going to be creating forms and pouring concrete borders for this particular design. So anyway, we're going to follow that in another video. We're going to actually follow this entire plan in video. So just keep an eye out for more videos from us from the landscapedesignsite.com. And